All right, this is Quad Harris here at College Coaching Network. For any person that's in the College Coaching Network family, I definitely want to thank you again for making the investment, not only in your child, but also in yourself and your family's future. I've got an interview here that I'm extremely excited to get going. I've got a good family friend of ours, Sean Brown. He's known my wife before, I think, what grade was she in when you met my wife, Sean?
Kindergarten.
Oh, Jesus.
So almost 40 years coming up here.
Yeah, we get a little old, man. So he knew my wife was a good pick even before I did. So I'm grateful for this interview today. I just want to quickly kind of give you the topic. It's the art of building relationships. And just to kind of let you know, because I didn't meet Sean back in kindergarten, but I did meet Sean when I graduated from college. But it never, and I never told you this, but it amazed me, man, when I had an office. It was a little bitty office off of, I think it was off of 95th Street in Overland Park. And so you came over and you asked me for some advice about, the business that we were in. And you took that advice, and not only did you take, some of the stuff that I shared with you, but you took it and went to a whole nother level. I mean, you probably did 5 to 10 times more in income than I ever thought about doing. You had you were in neighborhoods where the houses were appraising for where you live in the millions. I've seen you drive BMW Roadsters, and I'm like, man, that's nice. Lincoln Navigators, boats. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you in businesses with NFL players, and you still have a lot of relationships with people that are in high positions. I'm not gonna name drop because I never would want to infringe that way, but you know some people, bro. So I am extremely excited about this interview. But I just wanted to find out real quick from you, how did you develop that skill? What was your childhood like? What allowed you to create all these relationships to get information that will take you to where you are?
Claude, I'll probably start. You asked a little bit about my childhood. I was blessed to have both of my parents in the house all the time.
Okay.
And my father was definitely a disciplinarian. He made sure that if we said we were going to do something, we had to follow through with our word. And he did not take excuses. He did not take any other things like that. And he taught me how to be a man of my word and to work hard. Now, building the relationship part truly comes from my mom, because my mom is the most passionate person I have ever met, the most positive lady I have ever met in my life. And at age 44, I can't think of a time where I have talked to her and it hasn't put a smile on my face. She doesn't complain about things. She's able to overcome adversity. She's a cancer survivor. She's done a number of different things that when I look back at that, I can only take what I've learned from her to help strengthen the relationships that I utilize today in the businesses. And like I said, the relationships are more than just about business. And we'll get a little further into it. It's truly about building a foundation, for a longer period of time.
So you looking at their example, I mean, did they teach you this, or did you learn through observation, or was it a mixture of both of them?
I would say it's definitely a mixture of both. My mom had always run a home daycare. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. So it was very important for her in the business that she was running to build great relationships with the parents. And I have literally seen her have a number of kids, when they get old enough to go into kindergarten and the family has another child, they are coming right back to my mom. And that's because of the relationship that she had built with them. And so I've been able to see that from a business standpoint. And from my father, who worked at Owens Corning Fiberglass for almost 30 years of his life prior to retirement, just him and his businesses outside of work was always predicated on relationships. And so I did grow up seeing that, and then just through my studying, and when I was able to get into the business realm, I have done a lot of studying, met wonderful people like yourself as well, and try to take those skills and everything that I had and take them to a new level.
That's what's up. So one of the things I want to point out is the two principles, because in every situation that we come into when we meet people that are successful, and I heard somebody say this when I was running this morning, it says, behind every principle is a promise. And so if you follow a principle, it may not be easy, but if you follow the principle, there's a promise behind that, meaning there's a benefit or reward by following this principle. So the two principles I just heard you say is, one, your mom built relationships, and she genuinely cared about people, and behind that was success because people kept coming back to her business. And then the other one was your dad stood for, if he said something, he was going to do it. It may not always be easy to back up what you say you're going to do, but he believed that your word was your bond. Were those two principles that okay, that's good. So when it comes to building relationships, why do you think it's important to build relationships?
Well, I would say this, Claude. I have a quote that I live by when it comes to dealing with relationships. And I think it's very important for people to, if you have an opportunity, to write this down and really take this to heart. A relationship is not based on the length of time you spent together with someone. It's based on the foundation you've built together. So let me repeat that one more time. A relationship is not built on the base of time, based on the length of time you've spent together. It's based on the foundation you've built together. Right? So when people think of a relationship, it's not something that you have to spend a tremendous amount of time with someone. Some of my best clients, we don't spend a tremendous amount of time with each other, right? But we have built a solid foundation, right? And if you don't mind, Claude, I'm going to touch base on a couple of principles when I talk about the foundation, and what I really mean by that is one major part of the foundation is to be authentic, to be yourself. So when I deal with some of my top clients, I don't go in with any expectations. I am who I am all the time, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the situation is for that client. I'm going to be who Sean Brown is. And the client respects that, and they expect that from me. And that's part of building that foundation as well. The second one, Claude, is I let them know I've always got their back. Right? If they need me, they know if they reach out to me, I'm going to do everything in my power to come up to a solution, to come up with a solution to the situation that we're dealing with. So they know when it comes to business, Sean is very authentic, but he's going to always have our back. And so if he calls me or they call me on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday evening, I'm going to take care of the situation because that's my job. They know that when they call Sean Brown, it's going to be taken care of.
That's good.
And just let me add just one quick other one. I have a few more, but the Bible tells you the more you give, the more you receive, right? And in building this foundation, offer something before asking for something.
That's good. That's good.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you're giving something, you're offering something to someone in building this relationship before asking for something, which goes back to the more you give, the more you receive.
Now, I think real quick, I don't want to stop you because you're flowing good, but one of the things that I think, like when you said earlier, you said it's the foundation of being built. And being built in a relationship, it's always got to be two people. That's, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, however that goes down. But in order for you to come into a relationship and build something with somebody, y'all both got to be on the same page. And the only way you can really start building something is for somebody to value you as somebody that they want to build with. And so I think when you start out by giving first, then you change the paradigm, and I think that causes them to look at you as somebody that they are willing to build something with.
Exactly. And what you're talking about there, Claude, is truly developing a mutual respect for each other.
That's good.
And that's something that I do right up front. And in developing that mutual respect, it creates trust, right? Because you can't build a relationship in any of those examples that you just gave me without having trust. And the same thing applies when you're doing it in business, when you're in a relationship, when you're dealing with, your friends and family. You got to have that trust connection first before you're able to become partners and grow that foundation in building that relationship.
So dealing real quick with youth, because these are some of the main people listening to this, why do you think youth are having such a tough time building relationships with people?
Well, first of all, social media, there's so many different things out there that they are utilizing, and I believe that our youth of today are utilizing them maybe in not such the greatest ways. They don't realize that if they post a certain picture online, that post and that picture could be there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they try to delete it, maybe someone has screenshot it or something, it's going to be there. And so I think with being able to hide behind certain things in social media, one of the things that's very vulnerable for our youth of today is building that mutual trust and respect with each other. And I think the best way to do that is sometimes take a step back and teach our kids. It's okay to communicate through text messaging and email, but the best way to still communicate is either face-to-face or talking with someone on the phone and talking out the situations, getting everything out, and truly coming up with a solution versus hiding behind the different means that we have of communication today.
I wholeheartedly agree. One of the problems, and I would definitely want to get your intake on this real quick, because I got more questions. When people post stuff on Instagram, Kick, whatever they're doing, Facebook, whatever they're at, and they post it out there, normally it's, even for our generation, it's about how am I looking like I'm kicking it, I'm enjoying life, I'm significant, is what all boils down to, is significance. I'm important, I should be valued, look at me, I'm shining, whatever. But to me, it's tough to build relationships when you always are trying to show everybody where you are as opposed to trying to add value to somebody else. So, how can you use social media to add value to other people instead of just trying to shine all the time?
I think the best way to utilize social media is to connect, to create your brand and who you are, and utilize social media to grow your personal network. And as you grow your personal network, you're making meaningful connections. And in doing that, you're able to reach out and offer services to other people based off the connections that you have. And so for me, each and every day, if someone is in need of something, I tell them, let me be their Google. Let me reach out to someone in my network. So what I am doing is making a call to someone, Claude, and saying, hey, I have a mutual client, friend, or family member that could use your service. Is it okay if I pass the name and number to you and you give them a call? So what have I just done? I just given them something. And in return, they're going to remember what Sean has done. Both parties, right? And in return, I will receive either a referral, business, or just strengthen the relationship. So utilizing social media, especially for our generation, it really should be there to brand yourself of who you are, be authentic, but to grow your network so you can utilize the people within your warm market, in your network, to be able to reach out and help others.
That's what's up. All right, two more last quick questions before we're over with this. I don't want to go too long. So what's the difference, Sean, between being nice to people and being strategic in who you spend time with in order to build relationships with the right people?
I think just, once again, being authentic, if you are a nice person, you're going to be nice to people in general. That's just who you are. People can sense when you truly care and you're passionate about others and what it is that you're doing. So I believe that's something simple. We use the KISS method in there. We want to keep it simple in there, but sometimes when you're doing business, you have to be able to separate the two. When you have that mutual respect for each other, right? Sometimes when you are actually going back and forth, whether you're trying to get a better deal or they're trying to get a better deal, you have to be firm on what you believe in. They're going to be firm on what they believe in, and together you guys have to use your communication skills to get to a happy medium. And understand this, with kids of today and even us in our everyday lives, when it is a win-win situation, that is generally where the happy medium is. Both sides have agreed, right? They understand what this final deal is going to be, and we can shake hands and we can do business and we can continue to grow upon this relationship. But when there is a win-lose situation, right, that relationship has just ended.
No more respect.
No more respect. You guys have lost that mutual respect. You may have received that deal,
right?
But I don't want one deal, Claude. I want to build a relationship so we can continue to do business for years to come.
That's good. So, last question. This is a little bit more of a challenging question. So we're dealing with this. I'm a young person. I don't have any experience in whatever industry I want to be in. And now you're talking about building relationships. So now I got to get out here at 17, 16, 19, whatever, and try to build relationships with people that are older than me, that are more experienced than me, that have more money than I do. All the stuff that I want they have, but I don't got it yet. How do you get over intimidation to build relationships with people that are in places that you're not? And this is for older people too. I mean, parents are intimidated to talk to successful people as well. So how did you overcome that? Because you got a lot of people that make a lot of money.
Well, I think first of all, being confident in who you are and knowing what your limitations are. So when I go into a situation, once again, I don't claim to know something or know the answer to something that I clearly don't have the answer to. So I'm going to let them know that up front. Listen, I will do some research and I'll get back to you with that answer because I don't know that answer. But for the kids of today, Claude, I was speaking to my kids just 2 days ago, and a great friend of theirs graduated college, was super excited like so many of the kids that graduate from college, but is still working as a waiter at the restaurant with a college degree. And what I would tell the kids today is, don't think that piece of paper is going to answer all your questions and it's just going to automatically put you in a position for a job. Right? What you have to do is, as you're getting that piece of paper, as you're getting your degree and your education, you have to start building relationships now. You have to do those internships. They have to reach out to people like myself as well as you, Claude. So they can have someone like us in their corner giving them the support that they need as they continue to build relationships. So when they do graduate, they can go back to those relationships that they've built those solid foundations with, and then they can get an opportunity to possibly even work for some of those companies. But what's happening now, the kids, they're not building those relationships. And then they graduate and they get that degree and they think everything is going to change. And Claude, unfortunately, it does not change. It doesn't change at all. And his frustration is, what do I do? And I told him, let's schedule some time. Let's sit down with me. And let's see if I can go through some of my connections who are going to trust me because of the relationship that we have. I may be able to get you an entry-level job somewhere where you can grow within that organization.
And use those same principles you just got through sharing with us today. Exactly. I want to thank you so much, man. We got to have another interview with this because there's some other stuff about the doors of opportunities that's open, and as far as we'll talk off the recording to see which one of those you want to share, because there's some principles in those relationships that you have, and some of the opportunities that have came because of those relationships that I think we need to talk about too, if that's okay with you.
Oh, Claude, I would love to. I truly appreciate you giving me this opportunity and this platform to share some information, and I just hope it touches someone and makes a difference in their lives.
Amen. Amen. Well, we're going to end it now. Definitely, again, want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this podcast, The Art of Building Relationships, with my guru, Mr. Sean Brown.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, they ended it.